William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. We're going to sleep.
UMAR AHMED, IFL TV, MTK Global, joined by trainer Kevin Barry. Before we talk about Joseph linking up with Eddie Hearn, how was it having Tyson down in your gym in Vegas?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. You know, Tyson's a friend of our teams, and him and Joe have been good mates for a couple of years now since we fought Fury. My son Taylor has been in contact with Ben Davison, and we put it together. It was great to have their team in our gym.
Right, let's talk about Joseph signing with Eddie Hearn. We know sort of David Higgins and Eddie have had their sort of digs at each other in the media. Nothing too sinister, but how did this link?
It's called promotion.
Exactly. How did this link up come about?
Well, you know, this was Joe's career. His promotional career was up with Duco, and we were looking for another promoter for the next stage of Joe's career. And, you know, we met with all the main players, and David sat down with them. We received their offers. We sat down as a team. We looked at what was on the table with the different networks, the different promoters. But, you know, we've been working with Eddie for the last 18 months. We did two very successful events, the Joshua fight and the Dillian White fight in the UK. You know, we know how he works. He knows how we work. And, you know, Eddie's vision and Eddie's energy were two things that very, very much impressed us. And at the end, it was a clear-cut decision for us.
I asked Joseph this as well. Was a factor in joining Matchroom the amount of top heavyweights they have? Obviously, you've got Dillian White, Joshua right at the top of the tree, and Joseph knows them two very well. But you've got your likes of Michael Hunter, Filip Hrgovic, Usyk and Gassiev moving up to heavyweight. So these guys, Chisora, you know, these are really good top heavyweights that Joseph can be in with, and they should be good fights.
Well, look, you know, obviously, if Eddie had no heavyweights, we wouldn't be here. So yes, you know, Eddie's very hard working. He's signing all the best fighters he can get his hands on, and you know, we thought there was a really nice fit for us. So yes, you know, the fact that he has these names, all potential opponents for a young 27-year-old fighter like Joe, were definitely an attraction for us.
Now we're hearing that it's a 3-fight deal, and Eric Molina is going to be the first opponent on June 29th on the Andrade Selecki undercard. Is that close to being done?
Yeah, it's very close to being done. You know, it's a fight we've been talking about for a while, and I believe it's a fight that the Molina camp are keen on. So yeah, it is close.
Is there any preference in terms of UK or US where you want Joseph to box more? Is there a mixture?
Well, look, you know, we campaigned in New Zealand for a long time. We took Joe all the way to the world title from New Zealand, and then we had 3 fights in the UK, and we had a lot of good business in the UK. But like now, the fact that Joe's been training in Las Vegas for the last 6.5 years, now it's time for us to introduce the American public to Joseph Parker. And Eddie said that he really would like Joe to campaign here as part of the USA Matchroom. Okay. So that works well for us, because I think Joe has the type of style that is very fan friendly, and Joe will have a lot of support here in the US.
What do you think of DAZN as a network?
Look, I think what I know of them, I subscribe like everyone else. You know, I watch the fights. I think that they're getting a lot more footage. It's quite exciting. You know, it's great for the fans. There's no doubt about that. I think it's a streaming service that will only get bigger and better. Like anything else, there's always a few glitches with streaming, but I think it's definitely the future of sport, movies, everything.
Kevin, are you confident that Joseph will be boxing for a world title soon?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we could say soon, because Fury Wilder and Joshua don't know if they're going to fight each other soon. So look,
That might help, Joseph.
What I was just about to
Joshua
say,
fight. Yeah.
the fact that the big three aren't keen to put fights with each other together just at the moment, it opens up another avenue for us, and we're aware of that. And I think it's very important that we perform well in our next fight and that we stay in shape. And boxing is a very strange business. Things happen at times, sometimes when you don't think they're going to happen. You've only got to look at Andy Ruiz fighting tomorrow.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you actually, what are your thoughts on that fight? Joshua
Well,
Ruiz?
I think Andy finds himself very, very lucky to be in this position. But to a credit to him, he just fought. He just went a good 5 rounds, came out of it unscathed. It's a huge opportunity for him, and he jumped at it and embraced it with 2 hands. Andy's a very good fighter, a very skillful fighter, a fighter that a lot of people are writing off and very, very unfairly. And I think people that actually know the boxing game know that Andy Ruiz is a much better fighter than the 33-1 or 25-1 that the odds makers are saying, and absolutely insane. Andy's definitely in the top 10, 12 heavyweights in the world. There's no doubt about that. He's had 1 loss. He's never been down. He's a skillful guy with very good heavyweight hand speed. A guy with no fear. He's not the type of guy that when the lights go on is going to fall apart. We're going to get what he has, and he's a tough guy. He's travelled, he's fought a lot overseas, and he's embracing this opportunity. He knows all the pressure's on Joshua in this fight, not him.
Last question, Kevin. After the Joshua and Dylan White losses, how did you sort of deal with that with Joseph? How was he mentally?
Well, he was very disappointed after the Joshua fight. I think both guys gave each other too much respect, and we had a referee for a fight of that caliber that was totally inept and should not have been in there, and ruined the fight not only for Joshua and Joseph Parker, but he ruined it for the boxing fans. Joe knew that he should have done a lot more. And immediately after the fight, heart to heart with me, he said, God, I'd love anything for a redo of that, And I suppose Joshua, I know he said some things that, he thought he was too patient, and he would like to have let his hands go a bit more than he did. The Dillian White fight actually hurt us a lot more than that. We took the fight on short notice. We sat down with Eddie. Eddie said to us, look, there's an opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua, and Joe goes, if this is my opportunity to get back in the ring with Joshua, we'll roll the dice. So, we sat down as a team, David Higgins, Joe's management team, and we decided, look, we've only had 6 weeks, but we'll risk and reward, we'll go for it. We prepared very well. We travelled to the UK, we were very confident. I think the first couple of rounds in that fight, Joe was just pot-shotting him, and I was sitting in the corner, hand on heart. I thought the fight was going to go 6 or 7 rounds. And then we got the headbutt to the cerebellum, which changed the whole fight. Joe fought the rest of the fight concussed, had no control of the distance, and the rest is history. The ref called a knockdown that was a headbutt to the back of the ear. Was the difference in us winning and losing the fight, and Joe had him out in the last round. All those things, that I think affected Joe a lot more, because he knows it's a fight we should have won.
All right, Kevin, appreciate your time.
Okay.
I wish you the best of luck ahead of June 29th with Joseph Parker, and we'll catch you word soon.
All right, thank you. Pleasure.
William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. We're going to sleep.